Good afternoon, everyone. It's with great pleasure and excitement that we're here today to announce that John Rillie is the next head coach of the Perth Wildcats. In what has been an exhaustive search process for the last 2+ weeks, John stood out as the right coach at the right time to take over the program and lead us into the future. John is as experienced as they come, both as a player in the NBL internationally and as a coach, most recently in the college ranks over here in the US as the associate head coach at UC Santa Barbara, and also as an assistant coach with the Australian Boomers national team. And he's more than ready to take over that next seat and get his opportunity to become a head coach. I'm extremely excited to get to partner with John, myself, and also with the staff. And we couldn't be happier that we were able to agree to terms and have him start immediately, with the preseason being just over 3 weeks away. With that being said, I'll pass it over to John for a few words.
Thanks, Danny. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this. Look, I couldn't be more happier than to be joining the Perth Wildcats as their head coach. Really appreciate the faith that ownership, Danny, and the staff already in place have shown and welcomed me already in this short time. And I'm excited to embrace and become part of the Red Army and the Wildcat faithful. Playing against them for many years was always a buzz to come in there. The atmosphere you guys create, I'm glad I'm on your side now. I know the club is wealthy with tradition. I want to make sure former players and the history is really remembered with the Wildcats, because that is a huge part of this program and the success it's had. Yes, the program's moving forward with new ownership, etc., but I am never going to lose the direction and what Perth is being built on, the us against the rest mentality, when the likes of Vlahoff, Grace, and Crawford were running the sidelines. So I'm excited about the opportunity. I can't wait to get to Perth and embrace the community and the Wildcat family. So please go ahead, fire away with any questions.
Just before we do, guys, mate. Yeah, I was just going to say, Locke, just make sure you're raising your hand. Quite a few people on the call today, so we can see who's got a question and who hasn't. But yeah, Lockie, well done with the hand there. We'll start it with you.
Thank you. John, welcome. Would you have thought 13 years ago, after toweling up the Perth Wildcats in a game, that you'd actually now be in charge of the Perth Wildcats in front of the Red Army?
Oh, Lockie, great question. In the fact that, a common question that I've had to answer over the last couple of years is like, why haven't you become a head coach? If you look at my career as a player and my assistant coaching track record, I try and find situations that I think suit my personality and have a good tradition of winning. So when Perth come knocking, I was excited about just being in the mix, but obviously filling the seat here. Like, this is a club with great tradition, championships, and like that's what I want to be about. I don't want the bar to be low. I want to come in and be able to push the envelope and keep pushing this franchise in a positive direction.
Do you remember that game? And do you still smile about that game in particular?
Oh, man, I got that on loop for the last couple of days.
Can I ask you, obviously Trev was your coach as well back in the Townsville days. Have you spoken about Trev and the coaching of the Perth Wildcats, and have you got some advice from him, or will you lean on him at all?
So this has happened so quickly. I'm just gathering my own thoughts. What I can tell you is Trevor Gleeson had a successful run at the Perth Wildcats, so I'd be a very dumb coach if I didn't take a look at what was successful with that group, as there's still many of the same players on the roster. So I'm not naive, and hopefully I'm not a dumb coach.
I'll just ask one more. What do you make of the roster? You would have had time just to have a look at it. And you got Bryce Cotton, the best player in the competition, but you've got to fill 2 more spots. Can you just give us a bit of a rundown of your thoughts of the roster?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I love the addition of Corey Webster. The core group that's been retained or experienced with a little youth as well. So hopefully we can develop the youth to take over in the future. But like with the likes of Norton, Cotton, Blanchfield, Wagstaff, championship level players, that's their expectation. When you get to that stage of your career, winning and championships become really important. So I love the look of that. When we add imports at the 4 and 5 spot, we're looking to enhance the players' abilities that we have on the roster already, but they will come in and be able to give us some, athleticism, some punch to what we're trying to do with this roster.
Thanks, Locke. I will go to Justin Chadwick from AAP.
Yeah, thanks for that, and congratulations on the new gig. Just further to Lockie's question, I mean, you're in Las Vegas at the moment. Has there been anyone there that's caught your eye that you think would be a good fit for the Wildcats?
So Danny's thrown me a gazillion names and a long list. I'm still operating on fumes right now, so hopefully after a good night's sleep, I can be locked in, ready to rock and roll. But yeah, look, we've been looking at some good players today. I need to come up to speed with what their exact situation is. There's a lot of dynamic that goes into this, so we don't want to be reckless in our decision making. So I want to be informed before, we put both feet in.
And do you know if Luke Travers has any chance to play with the Wildcats this season? Just another season in the NBL before they call him back or anything like that?
I would say that's trending in a very good direction. Fortunate enough, I got to watch him play today, and I look at him as a very key component of the Wildcats in the near future. And I'm excited to be coaching Luke Travers.
What do you think he can achieve in this next NBL season? We all saw a glimpse of his potential there, another season under his belt. What do you think he could reach?
Yeah, like his consistency is something that he has to get into his game. As you guys comment, he has flashes of brilliance, and everyone can see that he can be a game changer for the Wildcats, take them to the next level. He's still, I think a lot of people forget how young he is. So he's just got to mature mentally. Obviously, like today, physically, he looked in really good nick. I expect Luke to have a big year. I think it helps with the draft being in the back now. That's not at the forefront of his mind every time he goes to play now.
Yeah, and I guess the Wildcats job coming up was a bit of a surprise for everyone. What were your plans if this job hadn't have come up? What were you thinking over the next 1, 2, 3 years?
Oh, well, in the immediate future, I would have been returning to UC Santa Barbara, coaching there, because we would have a very good roster this year. So I wasn't going to go anywhere besides coach with the Australian team. Something that's very passionate and close to my heart.
Do you still retain a role with the Boomers at all?
I believe so, yes. And look, that's something that I've made known to everyone, that I want to continue doing that. And when you represent your country, that's the pinnacle.
Yeah, thanks so much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chatters. About to throw to someone. Apologies, I can't quite decipher your username, but
Samia here from the ABC.
Oh, Samia, thanks.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
Congrats, John, on the gig. When do you arrive in Perth?
That's a great question. It'll be within the month of July. Yeah, just so you guys know, like this happened awfully quickly. I was actually in Australia. I'm now in the US. I'll kiss my family goodbye here in a little bit and head on down to Perth.
And your family will come across to Perth as well?
Yeah, at some stage they will certainly transition, just with the quick turnaround. We don't need to be hasty. I got some teenage kids, so we just need to sort them out. But yes, all my kids were born and raised in Australia. My wife is American, but she's an Australian. She's a dual citizen, so they're excited to get back to Australia.
This will be your first time head coach gig in the NBL. So how will you approach that? It's a pretty huge legacy, obviously, that the Wildcats have.
Yeah, oh, look, fantastic history and tradition. I'll probably say that quite a bit over the next few months. But for me, I want to embrace and tackle that. Like, I know the expectations of this franchise, and I'm not going to shy away from that. Very successful, and like anyone, business, sport, like if you want anything out of it, you want to be around success. So I want to embrace that and, get back to, where Wildcats are expecting to be.
And there's been a bit of instability at the Cats over the last few months or the past year, I guess. Are you confident that with your appointment to the head coach that this will all be settled and they can build from here?
Yeah, look, I'm personally not going to worry about what previously has happened. I can only take ownership of what goes on from today onwards. Obviously, you have to be mindful so you can correct some of the disappointments. But like moving forward, look, I'm excited to hit the ground running and get going here.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Samia. We'll go back to Lockie Reed at Channel 10.
Sorry, John, just one I wanted to ask. You were just a prolific shooter, probably one of the best that played in the NBL. Is that the style of game that you're going to coach, or how do you see this team playing this next season?
Yeah, look, that's going to be a trending question. Look, I want to play free-flowing offense, but at the end of the day, if your defense is no good and you can't rebound the basketball, you're not going to play free-flowing offense. It's going to be very stagnant, and you're going to be taking the ball out of the net. So, first of all, we need to address like defensively how I want to play. We need to rebound. In those two categories alone, we're going to be striving to be in the upper echelon of the NBL, because if we're there, our offense will take care of itself. And, some of the dynamic players that we have on the roster that can score the ball, that'll just play to their strengths even more.
Thanks again, Locke. We'll go to Paddy Sweeney at Channel 9.
Congratulations, John. Just in terms of obviously the timeline and how quickly this came about, you mentioned it's happened very quickly. Can you just take us through, I guess, from when you got contacted to, I guess, where you are now sitting as the head coach?
Perth Wildcats front office got a little acclimated with me last year when the job was vacant. And then this year, as Danny said, it was about a 2.5, 3-week process. And like any hiring, there's processes to go through. I guess I weathered the storm and come out looking like roses on the other end today.
So what changed in 12 months, you think? What changed from obviously last year, or I guess, for a better use of a term, a failed attempt at the head coaching job, to now sitting in the chair?
Oh, yeah. Look, good question, in the fact that what I can tell you is probably this time last year, the idea or the thought of being a head coach sounded really, really good. But my time around the Boomers, and then just this last 12 months, my mentality of really pursuing being a head coach, I think that's probably been the biggest difference in the last 12 months, is me actually like pursuing something that I wanted to get.
And I guess the question that all Perth Wildcats, Red Army fans want to know is, can you get back to finals straight away?
Look, that's the goal. I'm never going to shy away from that. Obviously we need to get something happening. It's great for me to get on here and say this is what we're going to do, when reality is the group. I need to be around the group needs to be around me. But as far as my expectation, like, we're trying to win it all the time, and that's the reason I took this job. Is Perth Wildcats have 36 years of history where they've been pretty dominant. So it's a good formula. I just want to be a part of the formula.